Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. First of all, giving all praises to the God of our forefathers, the Elohim of our forefathers, should I say, whose proper name is Yahweh. All praises due to Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. Since I'm going to discuss commerce, I will have to say this is not legal advice. I do not offer legal advice. If you need legal advice, seek yourself a competent counsel, and then please be advised. Everything I'm about to give you is strictly for educational, informational, entertainment purposes only, not to be taken or misconstrued as legal advice. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is to join our anti-police brutality commandos. If Black lives really matter, if Negro lives really matter, if Israelite lives really matter, if Moore's lives really matter, then join the anti-police brutality commandos. The email address is in the room, tyler.shaw@yahoo.com. And so last week, I was going in on a subject about forced arrest. And so today, I intend to pick up where I left off. I'm going to talk about the difference between malicious prosecution and forced imprisonment. So previously, I discussed forced imprisonment, forced arrest. Today, we're going to discern the difference between malicious prosecution and forced imprisonment. Why is this important? As you see how people are being killed just like it's nothing in the street, and particularly by police. Now you got these Hispanic people, that fired on a group of protesters. And so it's time that we coalesce. Whether you're calling yourself Black, Negro, colored, Israelite, Moor, it's time that we coalesce and realize that our skin in the eyes of the nations is our sin. And it doesn't really matter what nation it is, these nations are against us. Please don't be deceived by a smile, a smirk, a pat on the back, a fake hug. You better raise your level of awareness. So we're going to go into malicious prosecution. What exactly is it? So in many cases, Stefan the Don, in many cases of imprisonment or wrongful arrest, there's actually often been a miscomprehension or misunderstanding made between the charges of forced imprisonment and that of malicious prosecution, which is why I always encourage you to get my books, get my DVDs, and particularly the newest book, The Inviolable Man. You can get it on our website, www.truedisciplesofchrist.org. Also, I've encouraged you for years to become a secure party creditor. Become a secure party creditor today. What are you waiting for? Visit the website, become a secure party creditor. So, in many cases of imprisonment, a wrongful arrest, there's often been this utter misunderstanding made between the charges of forced imprisonment and malicious prosecution. Now, while both may often involve a restraint of your liability, your liberty, should I say, a restraint of your liberty, and they're holding you liable to something that you shouldn't be held liable to. It's a false imprisonment, right? It's a restraint of your liberty. So the two charges are not interchangeable, nor are they synonymous. There's a fundamental difference between these two charges. They're made up of different elements. They're enforced by different forms of actions and are governed by different rules of pleadings, evidence, and damages. And they are subject to different defenses. Now, one description of malicious prosecution is malicious prosecution essentially is an action, an ex delicto, from the recovery of damages which proximately resulted to persons, to property, or to reputation from a previous unsuccessful civil or criminal proceeding, which was actually prosecuted without probable cause and with malice. You could sue them for this. In an action of this type, the burden rests upon the plaintiff, the one bringing the suit. That would be the damn constable, who's it's just essentially gonna be picked up by the damn prosecutor. This establishes each and all of the following before being entitled to recovery. To a wit, number one, he was actually prosecuted in a criminal proceeding or a civil suit. Number two, the defendant instigated such prosecution. Number three, the prosecution terminated favorable to the accused. Number four, the defendant acted without probable cause. And number five, the defendant act with malice. And finally, number six, damages that were caused. Now, take for instance in a state like Indiana, right? In Indiana, a case arose where a man sued several constables on patrol that you call police officers for unlawfully arresting and imprisoning him in the county jail. And without any charge preferred against him. This is the same thing they done to my good brother Morgan. Me, I will bring suit for educational purposes. See, the defendant insisted his complaint was bad as it did not allege the imprisonment was malicious and without probable cause. What are the probable cause? For stopping you, for pulling you over, for accosting you. And so therein the state Supreme Court rejected this claim. This is a marked distinction between malicious prosecution and false imprisonment. See, if the imprisonment is under legal process, but the action has actually been commenced and carried on maliciously and without probable cause, it is malicious prosecution. Do you understand? Do you understand? See, it has actually been extrajudicial without legal process. It is false imprisonment. Do you comprehend the difference? And arrest, right, or imprisonment can be malicious or it can be false, but not both. It has to be one or the other. Do you understand, Tariq? Do you get that, Eddie Gray? So in a case of malicious prosecution, the arrest or the detention is procured for malicious motives and without probable cause, but was done under unlawful process, whereas false imprisonment, on the other hand, the detention is without proper legal authority. Do you understand? Do you understand? See, one may legally arrest for some alleged reason, but done maliciously. If he's found to be not guilty, he then has a case for malicious prosecution, but not false imprisonment. Perhaps my good brother Morgan should be looking at that. All of you that's been forced, all of you that's been taken in on malicious prosecution or false arrest, perhaps you should start looking at the lawsuits. Stop allowing these people to get away with this. If the arrest is not pursuant to the legal forms of the law, then whether he is guilty or not has a case for false imprisonment, but not malicious prosecution. So if this is done with malice, it would be actually, it would add punitive damages to the suit. So in describing the distinctions between the two charges, the Supreme Court of Oregon stated that the foundation of the cause of action for false imprisonment is the right which even a guilty man has to be protected against any unlawful restraint of his personal liberty. While a malicious prosecution case is founded upon the right of an innocent man to be compensated when a groundless charge is brought against him, even though such charge may be presented and prosecuted in accordance with the strictest forms of the law. So in other words, good brothers and sisters, the want of authority is an essential element in an action for false imprisonment, whereas malice and want for probable cause is essential in the action for malicious prosecution. Do you get the distinction, Eddie, Greg? Now, somewhat different to the wrong of the malicious prosecution is the charge of abuse of process, which is the misuse of the legal process for an ulterior purpose, in which malice or ill will may also be a factor. So the term malicious arrest is used in some cases instead of malicious prosecution, but the latter is broader in scope. Now, what about these arrests without warrants, Eddie Gregg? A couple years back, while you guys was watching the ball game, they made it legally, not lawfully, but legally, to conduct searchless warrantless searches in Virginia, D.C., and Maryland. They said they could conduct a search without a warrant. But is that not in confliction with the law of the land, Eddie Gregg? Is that not in confliction with the law of the land, Stefan the Don? Is that not in confliction with the land, Tariq the Matt? Or perhaps you guys do not know the law, John Brown. See, the authority to arrest without a warrant was rather limited and well defined at common law. A law which was actually made part of our constitutional law and the due process provisions. So the common law rule on arrest is based on experience and common damn sense. So as a general rule at common law, an arrest cannot be made without a warrant. Point blank, period. And so knowing thus, the right to arrest a person without a warrant is an exception to the general rule. This simple rule was expressed by Justice Carpenter in delivering an opinion for the Supreme Court of Michigan. He stated as follows, and I quote, he said, the law governing this case is elementary, except for a breach of the peace committed in his presence, or when he has reasonable ground to believe that the person arrested is a felon or is about to commit a felony, a police officer has no authority to arrest without a warrant. That's what the law says. That's what the law says. Now, so how you tell me, Stefan the Don, how was the state of Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. able to make warrantless arrests? See, the objective in this law was to have a balance between preserving liberty, like Stefan the Don is saying, Fourth Amendment, and preserving the peace. So those who committed the most heinous crimes, that being felonies, were a threat to the safety of society and could be a summary deprived of their liberty by an arrest. Those committing a breach of the peace could also be summarily arrested, not for apprehension as a criminal, but to preserve the peace. But for other offenses, summary arrest had to yield to the liberty of the citizen protected by the Fourth Amendment. The liberty of the citizen is to scared to be left to the liberty at the will of men. So everyone knows that felonies are bad and what felonies are. So the most common felonies are what? Stuff on the Don: murder, rape, kidnapping, sodomy. What, you didn't know that sodomy was a felony? But they passed laws to allow it? Don't believe me? Go and check it out for yourself. Sodomy is a felony. They're trying to change it on the books. Armed robbery, that's a felony. Abortion, that's a felony. But they changed it and made it legal, not lawful. That was a felony. Pedophilia, that was a felony. Look at how Esau is changing his books. Treason and arsons, they're all felonies. They're all felonies. See, a breach of the peace is also obvious and well known. So therefore, everyone's liberty was safe since all knew for what reason they could or could not be arrested. Now, so they're going to made up so many damn things, you don't know what you could be arrested for. But where is the safety in one's liberty if they are to be subject to every ordinance or law that legislated bodies may choose to enact? Where's your safety then, Stefan the Don? Or if the law on arrest can be changed by statutes. So my question to you, Charles and Heather Wade, can laws be changed by statutes? That's a question, Lena Mason. Can laws be changed by statutes? See, by the due process clause, the common law governs what the law on arrest is in this land and where it exists, that most statutes can be declaratory of the common law. So if there is no direct language in the Constitution directing what procedures or processes is to be followed, the common law is to be the due process of the law followed. Do you understand? Not legislative statutes or city ordinance. This is important. This is important, Dantia Hicks. Do you understand? This is very important. Officers who do not abide by this law are trespassers and are guilty of false imprisonment. Why not bring a suit against them? Let me give you some material, right? To help you people, most of you are probably citizens because you're not secured party creditors, in protecting your liberty from unlawful encroachment by executive officers. First, to initiate a suit against one who unlawfully deprives you of your liberty, Stefan the Don. There is let me give you an example of a summons and a complaint which needs to be served upon the defendant and served upon the court. There's also a memorandum of the law on the subject of arrest without warrants, which is legal proof of the law that has existed for hundreds of years on this particular matter. I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second here. I could jot something up here real quick. Let me open my Microsoft Word. So what'd say if you, Stefan the Don? Okay, man. Give me some time. I'm trying to construct something here for you. Give me some time. I'm trying to type something up for you real quick. Simple and to the point. All right, a quick. I seem to get this in my Word for whatever reason. Okay, let me share the screen real quick. I'll call this Wiseman. Okay. Hopefully you can see this. Okay, so-called plaintiff, Wiseman. So-called defendant is caught right here, Fanning. Court case number. This is what you would construct for educational purposes to serve on the so-called defendant and the so-called court. You summons them to come to court. So, to the defendant named above, you're hereby summoned and required to serve upon the plaintiff an answer to the complaint, which is herein served upon you within 20 days after the service of the summons upon you, exclusive of the day of such service. And if you fail to do so, judgment by the court will be taken against you for relief requested upon complaint. That's all is required. Then you just go below it, put your signature box, and date it. That's it. That's all is required. So this is an example of how you would actually take it in to the so-called court and then get them served, right? So from there, now the next thing that you would actually send them is your complaint. That's your summons. You would draft up a complaint, and I'll just give you the language of a complaint. So most of you should know how to fill out a simple complaint. But for educational purposes, real quick, in the complaint, if you need assistance with it, I'll be more than happy. We pretty much do everything. And then I had another affidavit. So you would just get whatever court you're going to. You'll find out their civil rules and procedures, or criminal rules and procedures. And then you construct it in their format. Create your affidavit. Everything under the head another affidavit, because an unanswered affidavit stands as the truth. Then we title it and we go down, put the your name and address and the so-called defendant that you're suing. this damn constable, and so on and so forth. And you serve one on him and one on the court and all other parties involved. So now, plaintiff for his complaint against defendant states and allege, I being the plaintiff. Let's say I got pulled over by a constable on patrol. Constable on patrol pulls me over, snatches me out of my conveyance, under protest and duress. I'm trying to get out. He said I was moving too slow. So he snatches me out of my conveyance, slams me up against the conveyance, and so on and so forth. He calls for backup. There's about 7 of them. And so they cuff me, and so on and so forth. And they take me down and throw me in central booking, and so on and so forth. Right? So this is my affidavit claim against all of these constables. I being the plaintiff for his complaint against the defendant, states and alleges on June 29th, June 29th, 2020. Plaintiff was traveling in his conveyance on a public highway called Interstate 95 between Maryland and New York or whatever, Maryland and Virginia, right? Going southbound when stopped by defendant acting as a highway patrolman, an employee of the state of Maryland. The defendant asked the plaintiff to see his driver's license. The plaintiff explained that I am not entitled to that benefit. I am not licensed under any board or commission and is not required to be licensed. The defendant insisted that the plaintiff must have the said license. Third statement, the defendant then snatched the plaintiff from his conveyance, slammed him up against the car, called for backup, and then 6 of them cuffed me. They searched my conveyance without my consent, handcuffed the plaintiff without a warrant, and over my objection, over my protest and duress, that the defendant's acts were in violation of the plaintiff's rights and constitutional provisions of due process of law. Line 4, the defendant gave no specific charges to the plaintiff for him being stopped or for the arrest, nor did he advise him of his rights as shown in the defendant's Fale report, which contained only traffic misdemeanor charges. A copy of this report and an official complaint was received by the plaintiff 2 months after the arrest. The defendant brought the plaintiff to Rikers Island jail, where the defendant knew, actually, since I was in Maryland, let's put it somewhere, I don't know the name of the jails over there, something County, Maryland jail, right? The defendant brought the plaintiff to whatever county jail where the defendant knew the plaintiff would be subject to booking, which included fingerprinting, photographing, and confinement for an indefinite period of time, and possibly be subject to other types of assault and battery. Line 6, further, the plaintiff, by his own admission, made no attempt to bring the defendant before a magistrate or judge when he had full opportunity to do so, being that the arrest occurred between 10:15 a.m. on a Wednesday. Line 7, the defendant, acting on his own accord and without a warrant or court order, had the plaintiff's conveyance towed to an impound lot and put in on a hold order. Count 1. Now I'll start listing my counts against these constables. Same thing that if you're smart, you may want to start doing this. Count 1, false imprisonment. Plaintiff realleges paragraph 1 through 7. On June the 29th, 2020, the defendant, without a warrant or due process of law under Maryland Article 1, Section 7, unlawfully arrest the plaintiff and acting contrary to the law, did falsely imprison the plaintiff, depriving him of his liberty. As a result of the defendant's false imprisonment of the plaintiff had his right to liberty violated, suffered mental anguish, a loss of time and wages in his work, and a discredit in his reputation by his failure to attend scheduled meetings. Count 2, false imprisonment. Plaintiff realleges paragraph 1 through 7. The defendant, upon arresting plaintiff, brought him to the county jail for the purpose of booking and detaining him, and by his own admission, made no attempt to bring the plaintiff before a proper judge or court as required by due process. Keep this in mind, folks. The act of the defendant in deciding how to deal with the plaintiff after his arrest and failing to take him to a judge or court to so decide constitutes false imprisonment by the defendant under the law of the land. Constitution. Count 3, assault and battery. Plaintiff realleges paragraph 1 through 7. Due to the unlawful acts of the defendant, the plaintiff suffered a series of assaults and batteries upon his persons, including arrest, handcuffing, imprisonment, physically search, force, fingerprinting, bookkeeping procedures, and harassment. Therefore, the plaintiff demands judgment against the defendant, and his liberty appears in the sum of $10,000 together with the cost of the disbursement. Dated June 29, 2020. Tyler Doc Shaw, plaintiff. 3319 Church Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11206. Real simple. Real simple. Right? Now, from that will be my claim. Some of you might go in and file a complaint. Then, also, after my claim, there's a memorandum. So the memorandum, state of Maryland, county, or whatever, right? Whatever district court it's going to, comes now. Tells the doc shot a plaintiff and the defendant. I'll list all of them. Memorandum of law on arrest without warrant. Now is the memorandum, Philip. Comes now, plaintiff, tells the doc Shaw, a free man of the state of New York, who respectfully presents and submit this memorandum as evidence and proof of the prevailing and controlling law regarding the matter now before the court. Argument and statement of law. The defendant, which is these constables, claims that his arrest of the plaintiff without warrant for the violation of 2 traffic laws was lawful. Defendant claims that he's authorized by statute to make arrests for any violation of laws of the state where they are misdemeanors or felonies when committed in his presence. The fact of this case leads to the conclusion of the law that the defendant did not have any lawful authority to arrest the plaintiff. The defendant had no warrant for the arrest of the plaintiff, and he alleges that he only saw the plaintiff commit a misdemeanor, i.e., a traffic violation. There was no claim of felony committed or of a breach of peace committed. At common law and under the provisions of due process of law, such as a arrest without a warrant cannot be made. Since the arrest deprived the plaintiff of his liberty by an act pursuant to due process of law, the arrest is unlawful. Due process is not determined by a legislator. Keep that in mind, Eddie Gregg. It is manifest. It was not left to the legislative powers to enact any process which might be devised. The due process article is a restraint on the legislative as well as on the executive and judicial powers of government, and cannot be so construed to leave Congress free to make any due process of law by its mere will. That's Mary versus Lisi. Matter of fact, let me give you that case law. You might need that. Someone's in the room talking about zip codes when you really should be listening. There's a case law that I'm referring to. The Constitution of the Constitution of Maryland declares shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. The words due process do not mean anything which the legislators may see fit to declare to due process of law. State versus ex-rel billing. Let me give you that case law. This is very effective should you decide to apply it. If not, that's fine also. Due process was intended to preserve establishments' fundamental rights by requiring that they cannot be deprived except by the established modes of law as existing under the common law. This guarantee that government shall follow a specific and pre-existing rule of conduct, process, or procedures is in itself a right the citizens held at common law and was claimed by the colonists in early America. Thus, it is clear that the common law is the foundation of which is designated as due process of law. That could be found in the Constitution as well. The Constitution guarantees these pre-existing rights and procedures in the due process provisions. What is due process of law? May be ascertained by examination of those settled urges and modes of proceedings existing in the common law statutes of England before the immigration of our ancestors. Towning versus New Jersey. That's a case law. So basically, I'm hitting them with violation of my due process of law for denying me due process of law, among many other things. And so, I mean, I could go on and cite many different case laws and so on and so forth, but that's not a necessity. That's not a necessity here. Conclusion. It is a maximum law that liberty is more favored than all things. Thus, the Lord favors liberty above all things and applies the most liberal interpretations to it. The common law rule regarding the procedures and processes for arrest was established in this country. I'll give you the case law on that. Hey, Shalom, Dawada. Just a little something you may want to use if you're out there and you're being harassed by these constables. It is thus fundamental that the due process clause of the Constitution protects the citizens from unlawful arrest. That's the State versus Quinn. Let me give you the case law on that one. By the common law, which is the law, due process guarantees a citizen cannot be summarily arrested when he is found violating the law that is only a misdemeanor. A warrant must be first acquired to arrest such a person pursuant to the due process of law. If that which constitutes due process of law is made to depend upon the will of legislator or expressed in a statute or charter, then no fundamental principles of a law or rights are perpetrated or secured against abrogation. and arrest is a deprivation of one's liberty. The state constitution requires that no person shall be deprived of a life, liberty, property without due process of law. The procedure for arrest under the common law is what constitutes due process today, as the Minnesota Supreme Court held. What is due process of law? Is usually a tradition of historical questions. Was it due process of law under the common law? Did it remain such up to the time of the adoption of the Constitution? The law is very jealous of liberty of the citizens. Where the offense is less serious, the greater the formality prescribed for the existence of such power which can be deprived the citizens of his liberty. That's Porter versus the state. It's my second time citing that case law. So, essentially, these statues that they're creating and, they're, arresting people, it's not really lawful. It's legal. It's not lawful. The citizen cannot be summarily deprived of this liberty because of his infraction of some ordinance or statute, unless at common law he was liable to arrest. The misdemeanor traffic statute involved in this case does not allow the defendant to arrest the plaintiff without a formality of a warrant. Therefore, the defendant is guilty of false imprisonment, arresting the plaintiff without authority of law. The foregoing proves that the common law surrounding the arrest was always recognized in this country, and thus a requirement for due process is depriving the plaintiff of his liberty. It is the law of the land. As such, the principles or constitutional mandates and cannot be abrogated by mere statutes. Respectfully submitted and stated. Suri juris tells a Doc Shah, secure party creditor. So that's what it is. Due process of law, you're entitled to it. So when you're arrested based on these case laws that I gave you, based on the due process clause of the the Constitution of the Republic, based on every state constitution, due process of law, you actually are entitled to be set at liberty or go before a judge to have a warrant obtained. Otherwise, the warrantless arrest is not lawful. It is legal, but it is not lawful. But the problem is, you don't know the law. You don't understand the contracts because you won't read it. So we get arrested again and again and again and again. And we go and we argue the merit of the case, not knowing that we shouldn't be there in the first place. Legislative law, or should I say legislative statutes, ordinance, codes, rules, regulations, does not override the Constitution. The Supremacy Clause, Article 6 says the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So therefore, any kind of statute or act or code that conflicts with the Constitution is not law at all. Now, how many of you have actually been denied due process? But you went right on arguing the merit of whether you've done something or not. How many of you've actually been violated? Bottom line, folks, the police brutality is actually getting out of control. They're being trained. It's not just the police. See, the problem is the policymakers. The policymakers, they support the police in their endeavors. If the policymakers would punish the police for their violation, it would stop overnight. But the policymakers is the people that's actually training the police to behave in the manner in which they're behaving. Do you understand? That's what's going on. Do you really think that we see what's going on and the damn policy makers don't see what's going on? Are you really that damn simple to believe, oh, well, we didn't know this was going on. We're going to conduct an investigation. Don't you know that they know what the hell's going on? They're using their minions to engender fear into you to keep you in compliance, to keep you under their control. Fear is your greatest enemy. Fear keeps you subjects. It is fear. It is fear that has kept you complacent for so damn long. You won't do anything about it, man. You want to peacefully protest. And they sit back, yeah, give them some time. Then when they get ready, they'll gas you. They're shooting you with rubber bullets. But what about when they become real? They use rubber bullets because the world is watching now. The world is like a global village. Everyone has a phone. They go live. So they shooting you with rubber bullets. That's not what they use. That's not what incited people to go out and peacefully protest. It was real bullets. It was real chokeholds. It was tasers being used on people that already had some sort of medical condition. What are you going to do? What are you going to do now? They keep distracting you. 2 months ago, not even 2 months, a month ago, month and a half, it was COVID-19. Then it was a protest, media eating it up. Now, protesting has died down. The media is bringing back, oh, there's a surge in COVID-19 in the South. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do, dark matter? When they tell you got to take a mandatory vaccination, you ain't going nowhere, boy. What are you going to do then, Dewada, when they tell... Listen, Dewada, we're not going to allow you to travel to Atlanta because you didn't take this mandatory vaccine. Now go on back to your kettle, boy, until I get ready to use you again. What are you going to do then, Terrence? John Brown? What are you going to do then? Keep compliant? Or will you stand to make a difference? See, mindset is everything. You got to have the right mindset. The reason that people has not overcome this de facto is because you have the wrong mindset. The reason many of you have not been successful as secure party creditors, you don't have the right mindset. The reason many of you are fat, because you don't have the right mindset. You can think you want to do all of these things, man, but until you first train your mind, it's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for any of you. Mindset is everything. So you got to get your mind right, kid. I've been saying this for years now. You got to get your mind right. So if you want to make a difference, you're going to have to change things. Hicks, you're going to have to change things. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming from the sky to save you. No one's saving you. Only we can save ourselves now. I mean, we gotta make a difference now. No one's coming to save you. You can pray and pray and pray, but without those works, your faith is gonna bring you nothing. When was the last time you ate manna from the sky, Dewada? Keep on praying, see if manna falls from the sky. How about that, Stefan the Don? See if manna falls from the sky. Unless you have some works to go out there. So you got to get up and do something, man. It's time we do something now, man. It's not going to go away. You got so-called blacks killing blacks. Let me show you how damn wicked the so-called black. These are not blacks. These are niggas, right? In Chicago. 3 young men walk into a store. There's a tall so-called black, I'm gonna call him, no, I mean, he's a nigga. We're not even calling him a black man. 3 young boys, teenagers, walk into a store and they asked this dude, a nigga that was 19, how tall are you? You know, he looked kind of tall. They say, hey, man, how tall are you? Wow, you tall. They walk out of the store. This Negro follows them and he kills 2 of the boys. See, you don't hear about that. Where's Black Lives Matter in that? This has to stop also, man. It was a so-called black man that did it, 19 years old, killed other teenagers for asking him how tall he is. When you get that damn wicked, you got to go, man. So you got blacks killing blacks. You got cops killing blacks. You got these damn Hispanics, they shot into peaceful protests, killing blacks. You got whites killing blacks. You're like endangered species and everyone wants to turn a deaf ear and pretend it's not existing. So what are you going to do now, Ricky? What are you going to do now, Stefan the Don? Everywhere we go, man, there's an enemy, man. There's only a small remnant, man, that's going to make it out of this thing, man. Only he that endures until the end, man. Same shall be saved, Ricky. That comes in this and says, Yahweh, Ahaya, what are they calling on him? Yeshua, Yahuwah. Nah. Hamashiach Yahweh Shah says in Matthew 24:13, but he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. You can't come into this and leave like that girl Kimberly, like Yeshaya. I mean, Chris Beard. He that endures until the end. What are you doing, man? We're like a dying breed. This is real, man. And so we should have at least 2,000 people, man, that join the anti-police brutality commandos by now. You want to join on Black Lives Matter when you have all kind of alternatives involved in that. You want to really do something for your people? Learn the laws of the Bible and learn these laws of the land. Then we go down with mandates. This is what we want change on the books. This is what you got to do, man. You talking about what you got to do, Ricky? This is what you got to do. And you got to show up for meetings, Ricky, if you're serious. We don't want no lukewarm dudes. Hamashiach told us if you're lukewarm, you're going to be spit out of the mouth, Ricky. Now you come on in here, Ricky, and you explain to us why you missed the meeting yesterday to the anti-police brutality commandos. There's the link. I'm talking to you, David, Ricky Davis. So anyone got anything, man, before I shut this down, man? You people better wake up, man. And our only hope is the Most High and our unity. It's going to take a lot of love to get you out of this, man. Black Lives Matter can't get you out of this. That's not even headed by so-called black people. Get your minds right. So what are you going to do now? I don't hear you guys talking about the young black male that killed 2 innocent black teenagers for asking him how tall he is. What have we did? Where have we degenerated into? If you take another life, that means your life mean nothing. You hate your skin. You hate me right now, man, because of my beautiful brown complexion. I'm talking to you Negroes. You hate yourself, so you hate me. And you express that in how you talk. You don't say, "What's up, my brother?" You say, "Yo, what up, nigga?" And so it's easy to kill a nigga when you talk like that. That's an expression of your psyche. When you talk like that, it's easy to kill a nigga. But it's a little more difficult to slay your brother for no cause, just for asking you how tall you are. What kind of damn demon he was operating with? I can't make this up. David, come on in the room, man. Anyone got anything? Come on in and speak. We've degenerated to beasts in human forms. Your oppressors, pops, Alex, that claim to be, they're all slandered. Neo-Nazis and other blacks. Zechariah 11 verse 5 says, whose oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. What was the verdict of Trayvon Martin? Not guilty. What was the verdict of Eric Garner? Not guilty. I could go on and on and on and on and on, man. There's no need to call the roll. Whose oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. We're dealing with a different kind of beast, man. If that ain't the damn devil, I don't know who is, man. When you justify murdering someone in cold blood. What are you going to do, man? That becomes a question. What are you going to do now? Just sit around? Continue just living your life as it goes? Continue to live in oppression? Or change? Finally do something about it. The link's in the room, man. Anyone want to come in and speak, come in and do so. You don't have to be afraid. Pretty much, I'm the one that's been doing the talking. Half of you don't even show your face when you come on here because of fear. Fear. That fear is manipulating your life, man. Some of you be like, damn, man. You know what makes me so unique? Is I say the things that most people won't say. That's why you like listen to me. I say what you want to say inside, but you are too afraid to say. You're too concerned about what might happen to you. So you won't say it. So the Most High put it in my spirit to say it. Even if that means my life, I'm going to say it. So I'm going to ask you one last time. Anyone have anything? Ricky Davis. David, come on in the room. Stop running. I seen you on here, David. Anyone have anything you want to bring out before I end this? Call, username, Will, John Brown. Any of you have anything? Any of you dare to speak up, dare to make a difference? Or you could just stay complacent. Just keep letting things go as they are. Shalom, David. And keep thinking things are going to change. Can't you see that's not going to take place by now? Shalom, David. David, you got to unmute yourself. David, you keep muting yourself back. You unmute yourself and you mute yourself back. There you go. You're unmuted now. You may speak freely, David.
Okay, so Shalaki for me missing the blacks against police brutality.
Mm-hmm.
When I found out that I didn't qualify for a shirt because I missed the meetings and stuff like that, hold on. Okay.
What about the subject matter?
All right. So when I found,
what about the subject matter at hand, David?
All right. So
the topic at hand.
I want to tell you,
everybody. Did you, David? Did you hear about the Hispanics that shot in a group of peaceful protesters?
Yes, I did.
What is your view on that, David? Did you hear about the cop that killed a young teenager? Did you hear about the cop that killed a young teenager that was mentally challenged?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what are you going to do now, David? What are they going to do now?
Okay, so until... Okay. Each person has their own thing to do. So what I suggest is you do what the Kahan is I'm telling you to do. If he tells you you should be writing this down, you should write it down, or print it, or word search it, or whatever. Because I found out that one of the court documents I got from the United States Appeals Court, or whatever, as I was doing the research, because the Kahan tell you have to read. So, I know you guys want to protest. I personally think there's too many in the protest because the infiltrators get in there. But, I'm not running the thing. So here's what you do. You listen to the Kahan. The man is a genius. I just tried it. I'm not a genius, but I just tried what he said, and I keep trying, and I keep trying. And don't you know, when I research some of these procedures and codes and stuff like that, that's exactly what was on my document. I was like, oh, wow. I thought they were coming up with something, specifically for me and stuff like that there. But no, I found that I had this document for about 30 to 45 days. And the only reason why I had it that long is because when you read something from the court, you get tunnel vision. You get this narrow vision. And, you don't, you get aphasia next. And then after I had calmed down a little bit, I was able to read it again. And I found in my research, I go to the Law Institute website. And I was looking up a definition for a word. And that definition is exactly what they had on the document. You're just going to have to read. Now, what's going to happen is, say you read something UCC 1-308/207. All right. Now, when you pull it up, the first thing you're going to find out is there's UCC 1-1. So you're thinking, oh, geez, I got to go from UCC 1 up to UCC-308. So I'll tell you what, it's a lot of codes in there, but the problem is there, some of them are only 2 lines long. So, don't be discouraged because of the number or the rating. I mean, don't be discouraged because he says that UCC 1-308, and you think you got to go from UCC 1-1 all the way up to UCC 1-308, because a lot of those are only 2 sentences long.
David.
Yes, sir.
What do you intend to do about all this police brutality and all these people that's murdering so-called black people and getting away with it? Let's keep our attention focused on that. You could talk the UCC code when you're talking lawsuits. Do you not feel and think that it's time that we resist? We resist this brutality? We resist these murderers? Or do you think we should continue to lay down and just suffer peacefully?
Well, we're clearly not going to suffer peacefully
Well, that's what we're
anymore.
doing, David.
But
They
yes,
suffer
yes,
peacefully.
yes. So look like that's over. So for me, I don't want to go nowhere where I have to have a bulletproof vest and a gun. So basically, I'm going to keep my head down and I'm going to support the people who are out there being willing to die for something. You know, that's just how I see it. I keep learning, I keep listening, and it's keeping me calm. But I'm really, like everybody else, I'm pissed off about stuff like that. And I just don't know if I can get out there and lead the people. But I do know one thing. If the Holy Spirit tells me to get up from here, I'm kind of like a grandparent, and I'm trying to tell you be quiet, and
Can I say
you don't
something to
listen,
you?
and I tell you don't make
Let me just say this to you, Ricky.
Okay.
The mentality of our people to always create excuses when we're being lynched. We're being lynched in broad daylight. The people that lynching us now, they lynch us with a badge and uniforms, right? And so while the
Right.
other ones, they lynch us from behind the scenes, the policymakers. These are all these are in cahoots with these minions that you see out front. So as long as we continue to lay down and make excuses, it continues. Is it not better to die as a man, standing with your boots on, than to die like a dog in the street, like George Floyd did and so many others? I call the roll, man. Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin. Zimmerman was told not to pursue Trayvon. How in the hell did he get away with that? Can't you clearly see something's wrong? Eric Garner, I can't breathe. George Floyd, I can't breathe. So many other cases, I can't breathe. Those are just the ones that was publicized. You got nooses going up again now. And people still want to suffer peacefully. Ain't you damn tired of being oppressed, man? Is it not better?
Yes, I am.
So, here's the problem, man. When our people get a warrior spirit on them, you always got that docile Negro that comes along to calm you back down. Charlie Rangel type Negro. Calm you right back down and take you out of that warrior mindset. See, that's a coward, man. That's a cowardly thing to do. I'm going to tell you something, man. You know where we're not respected as a people? Hey, Dewada, your connection's not coming through. Because we don't properly protect our women and children. This is one of the reasons our women can't respect us, man. How women can respect a weak-ass man? If you won't fight to protect your women and children and die then, man, you better off dead. You should be praying for death. Your nightly prayers should be, please take me, because I'm a worthless Negro. You should beg for death. Richard or Dewada, neither one of your connections are coming through. I'm not sure what's going on there. That's my take on it, David. I'm exhausted with all of the peace talk and calm down. It's not going to get anything done. This nation is showing you how it feels about us, man. They still got statues up of known racists. Then you got people that are trying to defend that. You know what those statues represent? And the people that don't want them down, you know exactly what those people are, man. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. They hide behind titles like right, left. You see what I'm saying? The right, it's really just another word for the new Ku Klux Klan, or the new neo-Nazi. In real truth, that's all that is. Richard, your connection's still not coming through. Yeah, I was about to add you, then you just fell back out. So yeah, man. So you saying you want to dodge bullets and all of that? Hey, man. I think
I'm pretty sure.
we've done that enough, Ricky. That's not gonna get us to anything. Let me tell you something, man. You know where slavery lasted so long is because too many people wanted to comply. Too many people was afraid. Too many people didn't want to stand up and make a difference. So you had that small faction that had that warrior spirit and say, hey, man, I'm better off dead than this. Because you're already in hell.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. How are you guys doing today?
Shalom, shalom, shalom. What's going on, Richard? What you got? And well, I mean, so what you think, Richard, about, I mean, the young black man that was tased to death at the hands of another police? Then the Hispanics shooting into a crowd. Well, what's wrong? What the hell's wrong with these Israelites, man? They're still trying to say that these people, come on, man. But look at the things that's actually literally been going on, man. Since the protests, they shoots into a crowd of protesters, man. You know who they trying to kill, man.
Yes,
they made it clear in Chicago. They made it clear in Washington Heights. But you still got people that call themselves Israelites that try and defend these people, man. True spirits are coming out now, man. This is a day. I mean, people are starting to show you their true colors, man. We're in that time. We're living in that time, man. These people are really showing you how they feel about us, man. And the real truth is because they envy us, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we look so distinct. Think about it, man. We look different than any other people on this planet, man. They hate that thing. They hate it.
You have all the flavors. You have all the good singers, good dancers, I guess. Good football players, basketball players. Very talented, educated.
We just built better than them. We age better, we look better. Our skin is definitely more beautiful because we come in different ranges of beautiful brown. You know, so all these other nations, they hate us because they're not us. That stringy hair that attract bugs. You know what I'm saying? Bugs don't even stay on our hair. We're amazing people, but a lot of us have self-hate.
And that's the problem right there, brother. That's a problem, man. Because right now, we're the lowest of the low, man, as a people. So explain to me, Dewada, how in the hell, how can our people be so damn degenerate?
Because
you got three young teenagers that walk into a store in Chicago and they asked another black man, he's 19 years old, wow, man, you pretty tall. How tall are you? You know, they just trying to, he look pretty tall. They're just asking.
He should have been impressed.
This Negro, well, this nigga, he wasn't a Negro, he's a nigga. He followed them out of the store and he killed two of them, man. Just shoot him for asking him how tall he is.
For real?
Yeah, he just not sure of himself. You know, maybe he have a complex or something, or he's just sick in the mind. But like I say, he's just a nigga, and we can't have those people among us, man. You know what I'm saying? If we bring back if we take control of our people, police our own people, I guarantee you, anyone slipping up, no matter who
Well,
it is.
here's the thing. Here's my thing, DeWater. Where was he when these damn Mexicans was attacking the blacks in Chicago? Where was
Hiding,
he at?
them hiding as Negroes.
A lot of people don't have the laws of the Most High on their heart, and that's the whole issue.
But still, though, but even the other nations, they rather die for something.
Come on.
But you know what? But
We kill our own, man.
kill our
Well,
own.
what was he at then, though, man? You see what I'm saying? He killed his own, but when these Mexicans, they was attacking women, a man and his child, anyone that came to the neighborhood, neutrals. They attacked. What was this Negro then?
Did you guys saw the video where the cops were separating the family and arresting the father, and he have like 4 kids? They were just pulling them apart.
No, I
No, I
didn't
didn't
see
see that. That's recent.
Yeah, I posted today on Facebook. That's where I saw it. I mean, right now is like they're just doing us whatever they feel like because again, there's no unity, and
You
these
know why?
so-called leaders
Do you
are
know why this is
sellouts.
happening? Do you know why this is happening? Because a lot of us think that they're going to deal with us fairly. They come at me. I am fair for my life. I am protecting myself. I don't care. I'm not going to sit there and hope that you do with me nicely. We know the outcome is never good. So now it's time that for us men to stand up because our women look at us all kind of funny ways like these Negroes, they weak. All they can do is jump behind a goddamn ball, but they can't fight or protect their family.
Come.
It's just isn't it? When the most I asked Cain when he killed Abel, where's your brother? And when he asked him, what did he reply? Am I my brother keeper? We are not keeping each other,
Come.
and we need to start keeping each other. And when we start doing that, that brings a unity and a strength, and that will give us authority. Right now, everybody is for themselves,
Right.
and that's the problem right there. We gotta stop that.
I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna hate to say, but it ain't never going that ain't never gonna happen because there's gonna be a separation. 2/3 must fall off. Because remember, if we were all doing that for each other, then we would all make it. But
Come.
we ain't doing that for each other. I mean, I'm I'm pretty sure if you, Richard, me, myself, or Taz was in a situation and seen someone taking advantage of someone of our nation, we step in. But there's some people who just pull the camera out and yell out "World Star."
And
That's
stand
the
there and get
system.
emotional. Oh my God, what are you doing? And this
Nah,
nigga
just
go
That's
right
just,
cross them and
there.
run.
He
Cross
right
them and do
there.
something.
yeah.
But we
This
do
is
have a lot of our people who go back and snitch. Go and tell, oh, I know who did that to that cop. It
yeah,
was so and
Come.
so. I know where he live at.
yeah. They will come and throw you off the cup and have the cup tell them I'm gonna beat you while they
Yeah.
watch. Yeah. I mean, we just gotta stop this selfishness and again and look at the culture we live in. We have men and women who made it in society. They don't turn back to help us, but yet still we
Oh, you gotta
supporting them.
forget about them.
That's why I don't
They
support sport.
done.
That's why I don't follow sports. I don't support sports. Nothing like that. Because
I
here it
used
is, you
to.
guys. mm, I, I don't. I never really did. Never. Because
I did because I played and I mean I was
I
of the
understand.
world at one point. I love football, basketball, and so forth. But after a while, I say, that's just eating up all my time. I'm not, I'm
Yeah.
watching them live their lives, and they don't do nothing for us when the chips are down. They don't, they don't come back to our community and help us. Every time you see them, they in some white neighborhood helping white kids who already have
Yeah. I mean,
suburbs.
I always said I would never buy me a pair of Nikes. And somebody buy me a pair, give it away. I don't wear no
I don't do
Nikes.
that.
But I will, but because of Calvin Kaepernick, I buy me one of his Nikes just to show that support because here's a brother put everything on the line to speak out, you know. And is that what we need? We need more people in celebrities or in the
We need action
highlight.
at this point. At this point, speaking is done. I'm done. I'm so done with speaking out, man. It's time for action, because only when they see that we're willing to take their lives, they're gonna have some respect. And hey, it may turn into a civil war, a world war, whatever the case is. But hey, would you rather just live out your life,
Yeah,
on the bottom?
and you cannot wage war against the enemy when you live amongst the enemy.
Yes, you could.
No, you cannot.
Hey, Shalom. Could I be heard?
Go ahead.
I got an answer right here, straight out the scripture. This is First Maccabees chapter 3, starting at verse 52. And lo, the heathen, so the heathen were around our peoples in the time of the Maccabees. The heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagine against us, thou knowest. How? So the people are asking, how shall we be able to stand against them except thou, our power, Yahweh, be our help? They sounded they with trumpets and cried with a loud voice. And after this, Judas Maccabee, right, ordained captains over the people, even captains over thousands and over hundreds and over 50s and over 10. So now they assembled, right? Verse 56. But as for such as were building houses or had betrothed wives or were planting vineyards or were fearful, just like today, we have our people that are fearful, that want to complain and they don't want to go to war. Mass is beating us, mass is killing us. What are we going to do? Here's the answer right here. Those he commanded that they should return. Get out of here. We don't need you. Every man to his own house according to the law. So the camp were removed and pitched upon the south side of Emmaus. And Judas said, arm yourselves and be valiant men, be brave, and see that ye be in readiness against the morning, that ye may fight with these nations that are assembled together against us
in the chat. I don't know what's going on
destroy us
with my
and our sanctuary. For it is better for us to die in battle than to behold the calamities of our people.
I definitely want to
and
join
our
this dialogue,
sanctuary.
man.
Nevertheless,
And mute that
as the
dude,
will
man.
of thy power in heaven, so let him do. So there's the answer right there. As the scripture tells you in the book of Ecclesiastes, there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah,
So the same thing.
I agree, brother.
The same thing we had with the heathens and the same people that we had that had the same fearful spirit.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that. We
Yeah,
doing something
brother.
else.
Brother, I agree with you. But if you understand what you read right there, we was already together. We have to separate ourselves and come out of Babylon. And
No,
create-
That's not the scripture.
We can't
says.
come
we
out of
wasn't
Babylon.
together
We
then.
here.
Nah,
We wasn't together then, Richard.
because
that was-
Christian. Go ahead.
This is actually the Maccabean revolt. This is a small group of people.
Yeah,
This is like zealots, man.
they was together in regardless in a group.
Yeah, but it was only a small faction of
A
people.
small
man.
group.
But
It was a
again,
small
my
group of
idea is
people.
that
It wasn't a whole nation.
I'm not saying no. What I'm saying, they was living together in a community.
Yeah, but it was
So
only
yeah.
a small faction. They wasn't in the community. They was on the top of a mountain called Masada.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand
And
what-
so they was fighting against a whole army.
Yes. Believe me.
Let me say something real quick. Let me say something real quick. Yeah, before they fled to the mountains, they was in the community. And then they said they're going to go to the mountains where they can do what they do. And they can attack and so forth. So that's what we got to do.
Because they
what I'm
left
saying.
the community. They left the community because the community had that docile behavior. You got to remember, the community.
That's right.
The community was actually not getting circumcised anymore. They were saying, "Yeah, let's go and make a covenant with the heathen." All of the same things.
Right.
They were sacrificing
It's being
pork.
said by a lot of people right here. You
Same
see?
thing.
So the Maccabees is like, we're pulling away from this, man. We're going to obey the Most High.
That's
we gotta
right.
separate ourselves from these people and strengthen ourselves so we can be together as one. Because right now we scattered and we have no strength in division. So that's why I say we need to come out of Babylon, come together as one in a location, our own community, and build from there.
You see, that's the purpose of the anti-police brutality commandos, though.
I agree.
You know, for brothers to come together. You know what I'm saying? And sisters that have their spirit. You know what I'm saying? But for what I see, you know what I mean? My little time in this truth is that a lot of people ain't about that, man.
Nope.
A lot of people ain't on that Matthew 10:28, man. They fear those who kill the body. You know? They want to stand on the corner and scream and yell, but when it comes to putting in that work, the Most High got us. We gotta wait on them. Nah, man. Faith without works is dead. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom is within you and doesn't come with observation, with just observation. So that's the answer right there that I see. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't want to say
brother. You spot on.
Yeah.
You spot on.
And I agree. That's why my heart and my desire is to be able to help in that aspect where we have our own community. We don't need to be under a great system. We don't need to be any association.
Nah, bro.
But
nothing good comes for free. You're going to have to lose some blood. Someone's going to have to die.
You guys don't listen to what I'm saying.
It's prophecy, bro.
You guys don't understand what I'm saying.
What you been dying for?
You guys don't understand what I'm saying.
What is there so much in this world you won't live for?
You're not understanding what I'm saying, bro. We gotta separate.
Hey, DJ James, you fell out of the room. Come on back in. Go ahead, Richard.
You gotta leave Babylon and separate ourselves.
You go where? No matter where we go, they're there.
They go where?
It's coming. It's coming.
Hey,
it's coming.
Hey,
don't worry.
They in Trinidad, they in Barbados, they in Jamaica, they in Central
You're telling us where to leave. You gotta be able to tell us where to go to.
Right, everything I time in, bro. Everything I time in. It's coming.
Like you throwing it to the wolves, man.
Who we gonna be like those dudes in India?
Nah, man.
On the island.
You see, we gotta understand this, right? And look at the what is called them these Dutch people who live by themselves in the middle of nowhere and they have no civilization among themselves. Nobody mess with them.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, good brother. If you first off, it's gonna take much longer to do anything to get people to come together. Brothers and sisters have trouble paying their tithes. So for them to even come together and put money together for a piece of land, that's gonna take a long time. You understand what I'm saying? So now, hold on. So now, good brother. Now all that happens, you have a community together. Historically, when we have our own communities, what usually happens? Esau comes with planes, he bombs them, he kills the people off, and all that. So it's like you have your own community and all that. Chances are they're gonna come against you and try to destroy that. So the fact of the matter is, action has to be taken because you really cannot truly be free in the land of your enemies.
Bro, if you by yourself and you cannot defend yourself, and you're amongst numbers and you can't defend yourself, so what is the purpose? We need to have numbers to defend ourselves.
That's what I read, though. I read that in the scripture. I read that in the scripture.
Yeah, but again, do us together in numbers.
Richard, are you scared, Richard?
We have to come together.
Richard, are you scared, Richard?
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, what you doing, Richard? You setting them up for a Ruby Ridge, man.
No,
just like that guy, Randy Weaver, man. You setting them up exactly for that. Because just like Awkward said, man, if they done it to Esau, what the hell you think they're trying to do to us?
What happened at Waco?
They was out in a remote area, out in the damn mountains, man.
Right.
But with Randy and Weaver, that Green Beret guy that took his family out there on Ruby Ridge.
Yeah.
And then, the whole government, but they brought the army and everyone. You only talking about that was one family, man.
Right.
They brought the damn army in, the FBI and everyone on them.
Same thing in Waco, Texas.
Yeah, Waco also.
Even more, it's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the Branch Davidians in Waco.
Yeah, they bombed a whole city block just to kill them out. Again, they had no numbers, and it was amongst the people. People saw them out.
The Davidians had numbers, man.
How many numbers they had?
I don't know how many. See, I don't think you're complying the scriptures with it, right? 2/3 of these people are not going to vote with us, man. You got to remember that. 2/3 of the people, they likely to be against it. 2/3 of the people are fairies, you know what I mean, and the other stuff, utterly against this, man. So, you're only talking about 1/3 of people by a hand, man.
I agree with you guys, but what I'm saying, for this to work, we have to come together collectively. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you guys. But we cannot
Okay.
do it where you are, where
So
I
I
am.
mean, yeah, we're trying to do that now. So what's happening, man? When you come together to move to a community and you're not ready to protect your community, man, your community is going to get overran. Then you bring a lot of wicked people to the community. You're going to have problems right within the community. It's going to implode.
We have, I don't know, we set up some structure, but as it is right now, separated is not going to work. So we have to come in collectively together to start building something.
So we're going to give you a mission, Richard. You go and get these people and you bring them back to us, man. And we're going to train them, man. You go and get these people that settled and you bring them back to us.
Because for real, if 50 guys busting my door right now by myself, what can I do?
Shoot them down.
That's what I was going to ask you. My next question was to ask you, if they come to busting your door right now, military, say you got to take this vaccine and we're going to put a bullet in your head. You going to take the vaccine or you going to fight to the death?
He's going to leave just like that.
He's going to leave just like that.
He's going to go and get a hammer.
Richard's he's losing points. Okay.
Okay, Richard. Okay. That's the answer right there.
That's your question? That's your question? And that just one. Okay. I know what I'm talking about. By myself, we can't do anything. But together, we have more.
But then
power.
this is why you have to have the faith in the Most High, Richard.
Dude.
Because the scripture says we have to have the faith in the Most High.
Dude, you don't know who you're talking to. Okay? You don't know who you're talking to. All right?
I'm just asking you a question, brother. I'm just asking you a question.
I was told by doctors I will not live to see 10 years old.
Right.
Okay? And I look up to the heavens when I heard that, and I told to the Most High, no man can tell me when I'm going to die. Because no man knows when I was going to be born. Only you, Father. You are my Father. And whenever you're ready for me, I'm yours. So you can't tell me about God. I could tell you things to make you hear.
I just asked you a question, brother. I didn't tell you anything.
We all have the same Father, man. We all have the same Father.
I
asked you a question. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking is a question. That's all. That's all. Because this conversation that we're having is basically it's public, so it's basically a way to reach other people that have a spirit on them where they feel helpless. So by us having this conversation is an example on how to lead the people. You understand what I'm saying?
Now we can't rock them back to sleep.
And that's what I'm saying. You have to. Where do you feel most safer, on the streets or when you're home? So you gotta create a home.
I really don't feel safe any place. You know why I don't feel safe any place? Because you look at the sister Breonna Taylor who got shot in her house while she was sleeping. So I don't feel safe any place, to be honest with you.
That's why I just stay by my bed at all times, lock and loaded. That's how I roll.
But yeah, that's why I brought that scripture out, because I see like a lot of times, because the answer's in the scripture, man. The scripture got the answer for everything, man. That's going to tell you what to do.
And I agree, but you have to understand, we're not going out there to try to make a point. We're going out there for victory. Not to just lose our lives, just to say we try something. We're going to do something, make it work.
Right.
Yeah, but...
So the same way they have their strategies and styles of performing their wicked acts, we got to do the same thing.
Hey, DJ James, you're going to come in through the Google browser.
But now here's the thing.
Come in through a Google browser.
Historically, our people, they gave their lives. You know what I'm saying? Because of if you look through all these scriptures, there's a plethora of scriptures you can look through. You know what I'm saying? Anytime we were under the heathen and, they're constantly killing our people and constantly forcing us to go against the Most High. Basically what they said in Maccabees, it's better for us to die. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, a lot of people, they don't have that spirit on them where they're willing to give their life. Now, I'm not saying you, because I know you've kind of felt like I was targeting you.
No.
What I'm saying is like a lot of people, like in this truth that I've been in, like the little years, I don't know how long you've been in the truth, but little years that I've been in it, a lot of them, they're really not about that. They're not about that, man.
Yeah, they're scared. Yeah, a lot of them scared, and what they don't realize is this life we're living in, this body, this is only it's not the final chapter. Your soul lives on, man.
Right.
You go to the next plane, and what you doing on this side, it will definitely show where you're going to be in the next side. If you're a coward, then you know what? The Most High can't use you. You want men of war, holy man, good man. You know,
Con.
someone who died for their brother or his sister, who's righteous.
Again, brother, I'm 100% done with you guys. I'm just saying we gotta be more structured. And it's difficult because, as my brother Tadodak saying, we're not getting the numbers, everyone just saying one thing and they're doing something else. And this is why I try to make my best to always be present so at least I can show some form of courage because this is not no joke thing. They're killing us like flies.
Right.
And we need to do something about it. But at the same time, going out there without having a plan is not going
Nah,
to work.
but brother, that even with the scripture that I read, the brothers had a plan though. They didn't just
Right.
the scripture says, right? Out of one, it says in verse 55 of chapter 3, and after this Judah ordained captains over the people and even captains over thousands and hundreds. So he had a power structure. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have this sect right here, and then these people going to watch this area, da-da-da. Oh, y'all don't want to be down? You scared? Or you just got married? Or you just have a wife or a seed or whatever? Okay, go back home. You know what I'm saying? Because biblically, you know what I'm saying? The scripture says, you know, if a man, you know, just got married or he just had a child, he stayed with his rib for that year so he can enjoy that woman or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But for those that was ready for battle, he had a structure. You know what I'm saying? So the scripture gave us this, you know, this strategies and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
that's basically what I go off with. You know what I'm saying? I try not to go with my own understanding of anything. I go with what the scripture says because history constantly repeats itself, and we under these curses. You know what I'm saying? And being that
Hey,
we under these
Awkward,
curses, we
where
got
you
to go
located
back to
at?
the scripture. I'm in Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah, I'm down south right now.
I wish. Yeah, but I mean, like a lot
Brothers
of us
can.
have the same thinking, but we just so scattered right now. Scattered.
Right.
That's
The
what I'm
thing is,
saying. Imagine we all living in one area. Therefore, we will feel more secure. We can look out for each other more and be more
right.
organized to move forward. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying no to what you guys saying. I'm just saying we need a community.
We got to go guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Yeah,
meet up. Brothers are
guerrilla,
gonna have to
guerrilla
meet up
warfare.
in a location where brothers can
Guerrilla
congregate.
warfare is one side knowing the territory and the other side do not know the territory, so you can ambush them because they're unfamiliar with the territory. Guerrilla
Right.
warfare is not just going out there firing your guns.
Of
No,
course
no,
not.
no, because you know the reason I said that for because I'm actually working on a plan of purchasing some land.
Where you at?
I'm in Mass.
Okay. Okay.
I'm talking
Man,
about you know.
man, it
Oh,
snows in the middle of summer up there. I mess in Massachusetts.
say what?
It snows in the middle of summer. I mess in Massachusetts.
No, it don't. No, it don't. We
Come on,
you guys
come on,
are.
side is 90 degrees, go inside, come on, side is freaking 40 degrees. Like crazy weather. And that's messing with
No, no, it's not like that, brother.
and that's messing with you.
Don't be afraid.
Every year they got snowstorm.
Honestly, being that brothers are so, you know, distant right now, the main thing is to congregate because a lot of stuff that we talk about here on this platform cannot be talked about. So I personally, you know, to my understanding, you know, brothers need to congregate, man. Even scripturally, Zephaniah 2:1 says we need to gather ourselves. So, you know what I'm saying? If brothers can link up and then gather ourselves and we can talk about all that, you know, land and all that stuff when we get to our destination. Because a lot of stuff we can't really talk about here.
True. And again, as a people, we are peaceful, loving people. We do not really like to go to war.
It's a time for
Uh,
everything, though.
but
And right now we're
I
approaching
agree.
wartime.
I
We're
agree.
approaching wartime
So we
because
got to be careful.
this devil in the White House talking about white power. He's inciting
Right.
something. He's preparing something, and we sit there like sitting ducks.
I
Yep.
agree, man. I mean, listen. It's
And
like
where
this.
I'm at too, down here, man. They buying them hammers up like crazy, and like Taz was just saying, it's Esau buying all the hammers. He buying all the ammunition and
For
all that.
real. For real. You
So
can't find none
you
in the
know
store.
they planning something.
Yeah, they're planning something while we sitting
Yeah.
there bullshitting. Because guess what? Trump has a feeling that he ain't gonna win, so he ain't going peacefully into the night. He gonna rally his people, and they're gonna come out blasting.
Right. Trump, Biden, whoever, they all devils. They're all the same.
Yeah, they are devils, but a lot of them believe that Trump is their last hope. So if he's out of office, they're coming. They're coming.
All right.
My observation is everything there's a period. Obama came in to keep us even more.
But brother, how long you think this is going to continue going?
It, no one knows. But all I can say is getting worse.
What?
Okay? It's
What you
getting
say?
worse.
He said no one knows.
No one knows. But all I know is getting worse.
Yeah, it's getting worse. It's getting to a boiling point. They say they about to be a sandstorm. Wasn't there a sandstorm in Egypt
Ain't no sense.
during the plagues?
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
storm. Yep.
Okay, so we seen all the plagues are happening.
Plagues,
the last one's going to be
locusts.
the Reaper. The last one's going to be the Reaper, and we know who's coming for the Reaper.
Anyone else in the room got anything? You could click on the link and come in the room.
Hey,
I'm just saying, Richard. I'm just saying that I'm not going to sit there and wait because they getting ready to start it. I see you're prepared. I'm prepared too, but I'm trying to get in a better area. You know,
That's what I'm saying.
I want to get out the city.
A community. Somewhere where we can
away
build
from the
our
city is important. Yeah, getting away from the city is imperative. But
Very
Slakia, I'm actually about to hop off this. My phone is about to die. Yo, Taz, thank you for having me on, brothers. Thank you for hearing me out.
Bless.
And
All
yo,
right,
Taz, I appreciate the books, man, and the DVDs and all that, man. Yeah, the water for that. I'm gonna head out of here, brother. Shalom.
Shalom.
Sure. Anyone else got anything, man? Before I bring this to an end, you can click on the link in the room. Adrian, that guy, John Brown. Any of you got anything? Yeah, yeah, Dewada, man. Yeah, it's that time, man. That playtime is done, man.
It's over.
Playtime's over. There's too many of us that consistently keeps dropping, man. Too many of us, man.
You know what's so
Hey,
sad?
where's Israel at today, man? Surprised he's not on it.
You know what's so sad? As well too, because when you see brothers like that, like the story you just told about, you know, the 19-year-old dude who kind of murked, you know, these younger jakes. Our people have a problem. They don't like anyone tougher than them. They don't like any kind of competition, but they don't realize brother's someone who's tough around me. I don't care if he's tougher than me, because that means that
True.
whatever I can handle, I'm sure he can handle it. You know what I'm saying? If we keep killing off our warriors, you know, we're gonna have a whole bunch of pansies.
But they was just asking the clown how tall he was, man.
Yeah, no,
When
but
you see a real tall person, that's crazy, man. That's just crazy.
it just seems like
man.
everyone who's tough, you know, our people are trying, you know, we try and kill them, get them out of the way, because they fear them.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something else, man. A lot of these Jakes, most of these channels, they're just around to generate hits, man. They're not really about that life. They're not really about trying to change something for their people. They're just about standing on street corners and, you know, gaining popularity and, seeing how many women they could get. They're not really about this, man. They're not really about real change.
I see.
They're standing out there shouting, and getting YouTube hits. That's all it's about for a lot of these cats.
And fighting their own people.
Fame and glory.
Yeah. I'm blasting on each other, on YouTube, trying to, and a lot of people, man, when they expose someone, it's not to make them better. They're exposing people just to generate YouTube hits. You see what I'm saying? That's a major difference right there.
Yeah, there's no love in their heart. When they do like a straight envy. And because I find it strange, if we all believe in one true ever living God, Yahuwah Elohim, why are we not coming together in different camps, coming together, trying to strengthen ourselves?
Because they all want to be chief. They all want to be chief.
Well, I'll be an Indian any day.
Yeah, but you know what though? They don't realize how they cut themselves, because most I say the first should be last and the last shall be first. So if you're exalted in this world, in the next you ain't gonna be nobody.
And you also say the one that serveth his brother.
Right, a humble person.
You understand? So I'll serve all day, all night. I don't care. But yeah, we need to really like physically get together certain times and bring forth, because we have the knowledge. We have the knowledge.
I'm gonna say this, man. A lot of people they don't realize, man. They want to stay quiet about this. They want to stay out of it, but they don't realize that after a while, when it comes knocking on their door, when it's one of their family, then what they gonna say? Now they want to mount up.
Then it's too late.
Yeah, that's when they want to call people and say, "Yeah, I'm with you. Can you help me?" Yeah, notice David, man. He ain't really had nothing to say. He kept trying to redirect the conversation at UCC, man.
Yeah.
Then when people came in the room, he just fell out, man, quietly, man.
That was cute.
Yeah.
Hey, Rich.
Yes.
I called you yesterday, but it just went down a busy signal.
Okay. I don't know. Probably I turned my phone off or something. I don't know. And what time you called me? Was it early or late?
I called you right after the show.
Oh, that's strange.
Right after the meeting. Sorry, the meeting.
Yeah.
Just quit nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say, man. I mean, the pot's boiling. It's pretty soon gonna be boiling over, and our people won't know nothing until it start boiling, start cooking.
They just like real complacent, man, docile. I mean, they talk amongst each other. Yeah, man, they ain't right, man, and they be right there, and someone's getting murdered and lynched, and they do nothing.
I tell you what,
screaming, that's wrong. Why are you doing that? It's wrong.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Esau is very crafty, man, because before, what he did was he gave them that, the opportunity to smoke weed freely now. So now they smoking more than ever, probably, and they're not being aware of what's going on.
Because weed does make you get calm.
Yo, I'm gonna hit you with something though, Dawada. They laced that with a lot of different crap, man.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like sometimes they be smoking weed, they getting addicted to heroin, coke, and all of that, man. They were sprinkling in it, man. You know what I mean? They shaked up in a bag and put it right in there. They don't even know what's in there, and so they get addicted to it. That really goes down like that, man.
Yeah, they say be vigilant because your enemy, he lurks around you, and these dudes are smoking, doping, excessively drinking, and they can't see what's right in front of their faces.
And they don't know what the hell they getting, man. You know what I mean? When they smoke, they don't know what that is.
Right, and the sisters are worse because they don't even look like females no more. Big black lips and shit. I can't be around them. Keep your black lips the hell away from me.
This whole system is just messed up, man. I don't understand what
weed,
happened.
man.
It can be more than just the weed, man. It gotta be stuff. I've
Yeah,
been playing rap music on the rap
There's
music.
something
Man.
in it.
I see the damn rap music cause all that crap.
It ain't rap music.
Yeah, rap music, man. Rap music.
I listen to the same rap music they all listen to. I didn't turn that way.
You need to stop that. Rap music is destructive.
Come on, man. So Richard, you're telling me rap music is worse than something that you could see visually, like these damn movies with all this damn violence in it?
Bro,
Or Schwarzenegger and all these damn people killing every few minutes?
Yeah, you see in the movies, but the music also putting images in your mind that you also see. And
Yeah, but in
conscious.
the movies, you're seeing it even more vividly.
I agree.
Whatever you expose yourself to, it goes to your subconscious automatically.
It's the movies and the rap music. How's that? I agree with you.
So now we don't have any music to listen to now. We got to listen to punk. We got to listen to punk to rock and roll, right?
Nah, man. I listen to reggae music, man.
Yeah, but they saying the same thing too.
Notice he's not scared.
Yeah, they are.
No, man.
They saying, you know what, calypso, reggae, dancehall, they saying the same garbage too.
No, man.
Yeah, that dancehall reggae is the same thing, man.
Nah,
it's different. Dancehall is like rap.
I don't listen to dancehall reggae, man. Look up these artists, Luciano, Sizzler.
Yeah, I know. I listen to Luciano talking about that Ja all the time. Who the hell's Ja?
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
I understand. So, that is how.
Yeah, but there are some good rappers though. There were some good guys who was giving some positive message.
Yes,
remember KRS-One? You must learn.
Yes, I love KRS-One. I love him.
I used to like him, but now he switched.
He switched. He really? He did?
Yeah, he's about his money now.
Okay.
He's doing tours and stuff. I mean, these guys, they start off okay, but then after a while, look, Big Daddy Kane. What I'm saying is that even if you listen to rap music, reggae, dance, or whatever it is, you have to listen and then take the good out of it and leave the bad, where you find it. But if you can't tell that difference, then you shouldn't be listening to none of it, because you just open, you just taking in everything.
I agree. But I mean, look at me, man. I like my Tupac.
Because you know what I did last year? I gave myself a fast from listening to reggae, dancehall, and rap for a while, to see if I was addicted to it, to see if I had to listen to it, and what I found out was I didn't have to. So now I know how to. So now I know I have control over that. I can listen to it freely if I want to, or stop when I want to. It's just so happened when I'm working, I put something on so I can groove to, whether it be the beat, the rhythm, whatever it is. Sometimes I'm not even listening to what they're saying. It's just the beat behind it.
Yeah, I'm more trying to listen. I'm more listening to the conscious reggae than anything else.
Yeah, me too.
I don't listen to no dance. Any new artists, dancehall, I have no idea who they are. I listen to the old school Coco T and guys like that. Sizzler, Everton Blender.
Yeah, but even some of these old dudes, because I listen to a lot of them too, they were saying a lot of things like what the rap was saying about the women and so forth. They were saying these things too.
Not these guys.
In different verbiage, but they were saying the same thing too.
No, not these guys I listen to, man. I don't listen to no dancehall. Never liked dancehall. For real. I listen to guys who actually using part of the Bible and singing part of the Bibles. Like Garnet Silk was a man. When he sang his song, most of the time you listen to his song is from the Bible. You can find it in the scriptures.
Yeah, Luciano, a lot of them.
That's
even Buju Banton. But Buju's dancehall.
But Buju changed. He did change.
No, Buju's better now.
He's back.
He's more conscious. He's actually telling people, be careful, look what's going on. Okay. He's saying he's giving a message, in plain talk.
I stopped listening to Buju when he started doing the dancehall thing because I don't want that. I want my
He was a
spirit.
dancehall.
No man, Buju
His
come on.
first album was dancehall.
When he first came up, but even like what is Caperton? They came out in dancehall and then the switch went to conscious.
Right.
Buju, and that's the CD.
Sizzler, and all of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Because we gotta be
the
careful what we
conscious,
take.
is good, but here's the problem. If someone because what happens is
Lena, women are members of the anti-police brutality. Yeah, we need to redirect this conversation, man. Let's go into this reggae conversation, man.
I
Somehow,
agree. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I agree too.
but yeah, Lena, there's women part of the anti-police brutality. Probably the women will be more beneficial than the men because a lot of these men are wearing pink panties. They don't have the heart to stand up. So they're gonna have to follow behind their women, but she just need to get that punk Negro off of her breast like a damn baby, because she's still nursing him. That's why he won't stand up.
Oh my goodness. Sometime
I'm just keeping it real, man, all the way across the board, man. A lot of these men won't stand up, man.
True. I used to live in New York on East 91st Street, and it was supposed to be notoriously bad and one kind of stuff like that. And I used to hear guys on the street talking about they fear to die, and I'm like, you're supposed to be a gangster, a bad boy, a drug dealer, and you fear to die? That makes no sense to me. But that what happened. They put so much fear into the men that they're afraid to be men.
It's kind of like that movie Color Purple, when the damn Oprah Winfrey had to tell the damn man, "Take my children and go home," and she had to fight the damn man herself.
Yeah.
That's what we living in my head.
True.
That's why a lot of them won't step up.
And so they're wearing the pants underneath the butt.
They're afraid.
Wearing some tight pants tighter than females. Like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? I don't get it.
They look like a pair of scissors walking around.
With like ducks or penguins. I don't understand. But
I wear only construction pants because it's baggy and it's roomy. All these pants, they making now these days.
yeah.
It's all like low riders. It don't go past your
Yeah, the crotch is very short.
The crunch is short. Yeah, I don't like that.
I can't wear those pants, man.
Because
My pants have space.
Design those pants.
Yeah. But I would really love to see us move a little further.
Where's everyone today, man? Where's Israel and all of them, man? Yashabin. It's like 8 something. He should have been off work, man. But I guess I'm gonna go ahead and bring this to an end. Like, holy, none of them showed up today. Will was on, but he didn't come in the room. I invited him into the room a couple times, man. But hey, man.
Well, this was enjoyable, anyways. There's always something to learn.
True.
Right. Richard missed most of it when I was going over the laws and all of that, man. That's what this video started out about. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, man. Thank everyone for tuning in. Like the video before you leave, and we're gonna say shalom again. Consider joining the anti-police brutality commandos. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Make a difference with something more than just your mouth. Put some actions behind that. So with that,
it's supposed to be a privilege to die for your people and for your family. People are afraid they're afraid. And no one's saying you gotta die or you will die or whatever the case is, but you can die doing anything,
Correct.
But if but if death do come, at least you go out on your feet rather than on your knees.
Correct. So with that, man, I'm gonna say shalom, man. Shalom.
Shalom.